Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. My name is Bree Newman and I am an insurance and financial services agent here in the great state of Louisiana, and I help families and small business owners get a little bit of a better value on their insurance policy package by better educating them on the options that they have available to them, allowing them to make a more informed purchasing decision with regards to their insurance policy package so that they can better focus on the things that matter most to them, like taking care of their families and running their businesses. So, just a continuation of our Back to Basics kind of campaign that's just breaking down the insurance policy package options that you have available to you in a clear and easily understandable way. What we're going to go over today is going to be breaking down your auto liability coverage. And I know I touched on liability coverage the other day, what exactly it covers, but today I wanted to kind of jump in a little bit more in detail with your auto liability specifically. So just going ahead and getting started, your auto liability coverage protects you and your assets, which we also touched on a little bit yesterday, from anything that you could potentially be liable for. So for me, I have a 14-year-old son. He is going to be starting to drive in the very, very near future. As he starts driving, the likelihood as an inexperienced driver that he is going to have an accident, that he is going to cause an accident, is much greater than somebody like myself that's been driving for about 15-16 years. So it's really important that you understand the liability coverage, what exactly it does for you, and really kind of reiterating how important it is to make sure that those liability limits on that policy are set exactly where you need them. Because like I said yesterday, it's protecting the things that you have worked so hard to acquire. I know for me, I bust my butt every single day, generally 7 days a week, just to provide a certain quality of life for my family. And most people are the same, whether they work, Monday through Friday, whatever the case may be, you work too hard to provide a certain lifestyle for your family to kind of have that taken away in the event of one unforeseeable accident. So the state minimum liability limits in the state of Louisiana are ridiculously low. They are set at $15,000, $30,000, $25,000. Just to kind of put that in perspective, my son, my oldest son that I mentioned earlier, he had a four-wheeler accident when he was 5. We spent 8 days in the hospital, and that overall medical bill for that hospital stay ended up being roughly around $138,000. Now, obviously, insurance took care of a lot of that, and whatever the case may be. But when you are talking about medical payments to somebody else or even their family, it's a big deal. So we want to make sure that whatever insurance policy package that you choose, whatever limits that you choose, are reflective of your specific situation. So for example, and let me just kind of write this out for you, just taking into consideration the state minimum liability limits. When you get your policy package in the mail, it's going to look something like this if you have the state minimums. $15,000, $30,000, $25,000. Okay, so I don't know if, well, that didn't work out exactly as I hoped. Let's try something else. 15,000, 30,000, 25,000. Still not great. Okay, so when you get your policy in the mail, you'll see something like this. Your liability, it breaks down like this. That first number is going to be medical payments to somebody else in the event that you are at fault for an accident and you cause them medical injuries. Okay, you've also, sorry about that. You've also got this second number, that's the 30,000. Also, that is medical expenses, and then you've got your property damage portion over here. So you're going along, the state requires this, so it should be okay, right? That's not necessarily the case. This is the minimum that you can get by with and still satisfy the state. This is not reflective of what your specific situation is. So it's really important, again, like I hit this home all the time, so important to be open with your insurance agent, your insurance professional, kind of go into detail and explain your specific situation, because there's nothing worse than not having the coverage that you need when you need it. The state of Louisiana's rates are a little bit high as it is, so we want to make sure that if you're paying a premium, it's going to protect you the way that you need it to work. This number is going to reflect medical expenses per person in the other party's vehicle. Okay, so 15,000, that's next to nothing in the grand scheme of things and how quickly medical expenses can add up. 30,000, that is going to be medical expenses where it caps out for multiple people in that vehicle, and then 25,000, that is property damage to repair or replace somebody else's vehicle. Now, again, most people think this is what the state requires, this is all I want to carry, it should be good, right? And that's not necessarily the case, because anything over and above these limits, this is where your policy is going to max out, so anything over and above these limits are what you would be responsible for. Okay, so like I was telling you the other day with the liability video, kind of going into a little bit more detail, with this, medical expenses per person, for the entire accident, and then for your vehicle, anything over this, first they're going to take a look at your assets, then they can garnish up to 25% of your wages. Not trying to scare you. It is so important though to make sure that you are carrying the proper limits that are a true representation of where you are currently at this stage in life, just to make sure that the things that you have worked so hard to acquire are properly protected. So going over that again, the medical expenses in your vehicle per person, maxing out for the entire accident, and then up to this amount to repair or replace someone's vehicle. Now, one thing that you do need to take into consideration whenever you are looking at this coverage, the cost to replace a vehicle at today's cost. So these numbers, they're going to change through life. So once you purchase an insurance policy package with an agent or with a company, you're going to want to make sure that you continue to review those coverage at least every 12 to 18 months, just to make sure that you're not outgrowing your limits. Because again, that liability is going to be probably the second most important coverage in your insurance policy package. So if you have any questions, you wanted to kind of sit down and visit where you should be with your insurance policy package, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you're catching this on YouTube, the contact information is going to be in the link in the description below. catching this on Facebook, make sure that you click above to shoot me a message. We'll go ahead and sit down and see what we can do to make sure that the coverages that you have are what you need. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful day.